Call this order to
Session.
Nathan.
Yeah, give me.
Okay, again, we'll start it. We'll go ahead, call this session into order. Pro Tribal Legislature Special Session, October 11th, Wednesday.
We're in regular.
Sorry, my mistake. Regular session, October 10th through the 20th. I call this session to order. Invocation, we'll go ahead and the time is 2:44. We'll go ahead and ask Senator Tom Yellowtail, want to go ahead and give an invocation? Thank you. We'll go ahead and start with roll call from Black Lodge.
3 irons.
Black Lodge. White Plains, Black Lodge.
Reno.
Go you up, guys.
Reno. Yellowtail, West West.
Grove on. Lodge Tracks.
Deputy Big Horn here.
Deep clean now.
Come on, Neruda. Yeah, here.
Good luck. You go check out Cha-Cha here.
Mail Bear.
Burden ground. Mongoose is right here.
All of them are going here.
Sorry.
Speaker.
Go ahead. We wait.
Okay, two the over Mikey.
Ellie is 16 present. Go ahead. Senator Alden.
15.
15, correction, 15. Go ahead, Senator Alden.
Two the I can get to three. I will recognize that.
3. For recognizing guests and visiting guests. I'd like to recognize Vice Secretary Sean Backbone here. We've been working on it for a couple of days here, so we'll go ahead and review and adopt the agenda. So at this time, go ahead, Senator Alden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Secretary, Vice Secretary, members of the body. At this time, we're at review and adoption of agenda. I'll make a motion to move the review and approval of journals to the end. Also reports. Well, let's vote on the reports and we'll do the journals first. I'll make that motion, just journals first.
Okay, motion has been made. Need a second. Second by Senator Hill. Question by Senator Sean Robert. All in favor, raise your right hand. 15 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Moving on. Go ahead, Senator Alden.
Same thing. I'll make another motion on reporting. I believe legislative, executive, committee chairs, speaker, secretary of the house, and we know executive. We didn't. I need the report right now, so I'll just make that motion.
Okay. Motion has been made. Need a second. Second by Senator Hill. Question by Senator Sean Robert. All in favor, raise your right hand. 15 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Moving on, Senator Alden.
And at this time, I'm going to make another motion to bring out the budget quarterly 2018, our annual budget actually, 17 budget out of old business. Correct, Don?
That's the annual, am I
Annual,
correct?
yep. Annual 2018 budget out of old business and on to the first item of business.
Motion has been made, second by Senator Tyson Groban, question by Paul Hill. There's a motion on the floor, we'll go ahead, take a vote, all in favor, raise your right hand. 15 yes, 15 no, or 15 yes, 0 no, and 0 abstain. Motion has been passed. Go ahead, Senator Sean Gilbert.
What's the protocol on Finance Committee on providing the updated information that's going to closed session?
We will go ahead and at that time when we get to there, we'll go ahead and he will hook up and hook up. Okay?
Thank you for clarifying that.
We're making copies at this moment, am I correct? Okay, so first order of business at this time, we would go ahead and read it into record, the original document, am I correct? Don?
Speaker,
Yes.
point of clarification. Don, I'm looking for the budget under old business, and I don't believe it's under. I'm just trying to make a point of clarification. It's not under old business. It's under our
Special session.
package. It's special session, but
Yes.
like you said yesterday, it expired, so it automatically
Goes into,
converted to old business. So I'm just saying it's not in there right now, so that just clarified to everyone. That's the way, you won't see it in your old business right now, but it automatically reverted to old business after it expired session yesterday.
all right?
Correct.
All right. All right, so we will go on to reading the first, the original document at this time. Don will read the original document.
Thank you, Speaker. If I may, I'll proceed.
All right.
Pro-Tribal Legislature, October 12, 2017, special session, CLB number CLB 17-blank. Introduced by Alvin Not Afraid Jr., Chairman, Pro-Tribal Executive Branch. A bill for an act entitled Approval of the Annual Budget for the Operation of the Pro-Tribal Government and the Expenditure of Tribal Revenue for Fiscal Year 2018.
Need a motion to adopt? Motion by Senator Hill. Need a second? Second by Senator Melber. Holly, go ahead, you may proceed.
Whereas Article 4, Section 3D of the Pro-Tribal Constitution bylaws requires the executive branch of the pro-tribal government to prepare an annual budget for the operation of the tribal government, including separate budgets for the legislative and judicial branches, for approval by the legislative branch and the Secretary of the Interior. And whereas Article 5, Section 2E of the Constitution empowers the legislative branch to grant final approval or disapproval of the annual budget prepared by the executive branch. And whereas a budget for the expenditure of pro-tribal revenue has been developed by the executive branch for fiscal year 2018, commencing on October 1, 2017 and ending on September 30th, 2018, from the following sources of tribal revenue. Number 1, General Fund of the Pro-Tribe, $10,835,376. Number 2, 107th Judgment Fund, $2,700,000. Number 3, Indirect Cost Fund, $1,300,000. Total, $14,835,376. Whereas the executive branch has presented the attached line item budget for all three branches of the pro-tribal government. Now therefore be it enacted by the pro-tribal legislature. Section 1, approval of the 2018 fiscal year budget for the expenditure of pro-tribal revenue. The attached 2018 fiscal year budget for the operation of the pro-tribal government and the expenditure of tribal revenues prepared by the executive branch and reviewed by the legislative branch is hereby approved by the pro-tribal legislature. Section 2, 2018 fiscal year budget amendments, 1 required. All additional unbudgeted revenues received by the pro-tribe during the 2018 fiscal year shall be available for expenditure to address tribal program debt as identified in this act, with the executive branch having the discretion to determine relative priorities of the program debt to be addressed, provided that all additional unbudgeted revenues received by the pro-tribe will be reported by the executive branch to the finance committee of the legislature on a quarterly basis. Provided further that in the event all tribal cash liabilities are addressed with additional unbudgeted revenues, authorization for expenditure of additional funds shall be through duly adopted amendments to the fiscal year 2018 tribal budget, subject to Section 3D of the 2007 Pro-Tribe Fiscal Management Act. As used in this Section 2, additional unbudgeted revenues shall mean A, all unencumbered revenues from sources not expressly included in this Act, and B, additional revenue from sources that are expressly included in this Act to the extent that such additional revenue exceeds in the aggregate the total amount of revenue budgeted in this Act. Section 3, Tribal Mineral Royalties Special Per Capita Account. In addition to amounts provided for in the attached 2018 fiscal year budget, all mineral royalties paid to the credit of the pro-tribe shall be directly deposited by the Office of Special Trustee in a proceeds of labor account per capita, separate and apart from the pro-tribal general fund, and shall only be available for expenditure for the purpose of per capita distribution to the enrolled membership. Any additional mineral royalties received shall also be directly deposited into the proceeds of labor account per capita described herein and shall be distributed via per capita payments to the enrolled tribal membership. In addition to the reports on receipts of royalties currently being provided to the legislature by the Office of the Special Trustee, the executive branch shall forward to the legislature copies of all per capita account drawdown requests on Form SF-1034 as signed by the chairman. At the same times, they are provided to BIA and OST. Section 4. This act shall take effect immediately upon approval by the tribal chairman.
Thank you. At this time, all right, so at this time, we'll go ahead and go to 30-minute presentation. Go ahead, Senator Hill.
I'll waive, with the motion, waive 30-minute presentation.
Made a motion by Senator Paul Hill, second by Senator Goodluck, question by Senator Yellowtail. All in favor, raise your right hand. For the record, Senator Hugs is here. So that is 16 yes, 0 no, and 0 abstain. Wait, correction, that's 15 yes, 15 no, right down, so I saw that. 14. So 14 yes, correction, 14 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Motion has passed. Now we're going on to committee recommendation. Finance Chair, Senator Sean Robert.
Thank you very much, Speaker and Secretary, members of the legislature. I'd like to express that we brought it out of committee and it's now ready for full session.
Is that a recommendation of approval?
Yes, it is.
Approval? Okay, motion onto the floor. Floor is open for debate. Go ahead, Senator Bill.
Make motion to cease debate. For final roll call vote.
There's amendments. Amendments.
With amendments. Move to final roll call vote.
So, do we need to read the amendments? The amendments, there we keep going. So we just need to cease debate and move on to amendment section.
All right, well, since debate, I take my motion back. I hope I got. I'll just leave my motion with ceasing debate.
Okay, motion is made by Senator Hill, second by Senator Ruggs. Question by Senator Deputy. All in favor, raise your right hand. So 15 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. We'll go ahead and at this time we'll go ahead and read the amendments.
Thank you, Speaker. So the amendments, as Senator Reelberg had mentioned, Chairman Senator Reelberg from the Finance Committee meeting that took place this morning, I'm going to read the red line that was accepted and made for recommendation. First, you'll see that special session is struck out, it's regular session. Going down to the new third whereas, based upon the presentations by the executive branch, the tribe's revenue is unable to sustain its expenditures, debt service, liabilities, payroll for staff, compensation for appointments, and senior benefits for the fiscal year of 2018. And whereas the Crow tribe recognizes that a lack of a proper financial infrastructure has impacted the financial ability of the tribe and created a shortfall based upon overspending, commingling of accounts, and ISDA compliance issues. And whereas the Crow Tribe Executive Branch has assessed the debt of the Crow Tribe and has presented to the legislature a report on the impact of that debt. Whereas the Crow Tribe Legislative Branch has acknowledged and did not approve the $15 million settlement from the 2016 coal severance tax case, whereby the Crow Tribe Executive Finance Department has acknowledged that it was received and never budgeted by the legislature, and that its proceeds have covered other liabilities of the tribe and have also not been approved for payment by the legislature, which has further impacted the FY 2018 budget process. And whereas the Crow Tribe acknowledges that federal programs have been floated by the general funds due to compliance issues, and the cash burden on the general fund has grown to the point that such BIA policy of reimbursement has affected the tribe's ability to operate. And whereas the Crow Tribe Tribal Executive Branch has affirmed that the audits ordered in the 2017 Budget Acts will be ready in November of 2017, and such audits will assist with providing clear assessment of the 2016 and 2017 financial process of the Crow Tribe and identifying financial practices impacting finance. Whereas both the executive and legislative branches will continue to work together in settlement of their litigation under Crow Tribal Court Case Number 13-002, the litigation, whereby the chairman of the executive branch will submit his version of the proposed updated Crow Tribe Fiscal Management Act by October 27, 2017. Whereas the executive and legislative branches agree that the financial crisis will be properly addressed by settlement of the litigation, resulting in legislation amending the finance law and policies for the Crow Tribe. The following changes have been made to the revenue general fund of the Crow Tribe. It is now $10,585,376. Indirect cost fund is zeroed out. Beside total references, this all it excludes per capita. Total revenue is now $13,285,376. The previous section 2 was deleted, which was the 2018 fiscal year budget amendments when required. A new section 2 is put into place. It is named Future Unencumbered Income. Any spending which exceeds this FY 2018 annual budget shall be considered unapproved by the Crow Tribal Legislature. All additional income not budgeted throughout FY 2018 shall be provided to the Crow Tribal Legislative Branch for a budget amendment to this act. Unencumbered income means that revenue to the Crow Tribe that is received in addition to and after this budget is passed. Unencumbered revenue collected by the Crow Tribe Executive Branch shall be placed in a separate account and shall not be appropriated until the Executive Branch deems it appropriate to move for a budget amendment to appropriate the additional funds to the tribe. Section 3, reporting. The Executive Branch shall continue to report on the fiscal management of the Crow Tribal Government's expenditures, all sources of funding and revenues with federal funds versus tribal funds of the comprehensive full budget for FY 2018. This regular reporting shall take place preferably bi-weekly or at a minimum monthly. This shall include all settlements received by the Crow Tribe during this period and full assessment and breakdown of debt service, liabilities, expenditures, and revenue. Summary budget comparison report from all Crow Tribal accounting systems, including the Abila Sage MIP accounting system for all 3 branches of Crow Tribal government, showing budgets and detailed expenditures for each quarter of 2018. This report shall be included in the 2019 annual budget submission by the Executive Branch. This reporting shall also include all information from third parties dealing with the finances of the Crow Tribe. Each branch chief shall also have access to their banking financial information at all banks with this information. All reporting shall be certified by the Tribal Comptroller. Upon the financial separation of the legislative and judicial branches, the reporting as indicated in this section shall be completed by the branch chiefs and their financial official. Section 4, audits. The Crow Tribe Executive Branch shall issue the audits ordered by CLB 17-02 by November 30th, 2017. Section 5, settlement of the litigation. The Executive Branch and the Legislative Branch met on April 26th through the 27th, 2017 to begin settlement negotiations on the litigation, and the parties' settlement discussions are continuing. The branches agree that by October 27, 2017, the Executive Branch shall submit its version of the updated or new Crow Tribal Fiscal Management Act. Upon this submission, the branches shall set dates for negotiations and make a good faith effort to settle the litigation. Upon reaching a negotiated settlement of the litigation, it shall result in passage of a new Crow Tribal Fiscal Management Act to be codified in the Crow Law and Order Code 2005 as amended, and the parties shall submit a joint stipulated order dismissing the litigation to the Court of Appeals. Section 6, corrective action plan. The executive branch shall institute a corrective action plan to move the ISDA and other federal or state programs into compliance. The executive branch shall work with program managers at the funding level and tribal program directors on a regular basis, preferably on a monthly basis, to ensure reporting and reconciliation is current and consistent. Section 3 now becomes Section 7. Moving on to Section 8. Judicial Branch Fiscal Authority. The judicial branch shall have control over their internal budgeting process, complete federal reporting in cooperation with the executive branch, purchasing and making expenditures as authorized by their budget. All bonds, fees, and fines and other revenues derived from judicial branch operations shall remain within the judicial branch's own bank account. Revenue from fines, fees, and bonds/bail shall be placed in a special account for anticipated judicial branch budget amendment of the 2018 Budget Act. Bonds/bail shall remain in the special account unless they are ordered back to the issuer. In the event bonds, bail are forfeited, they shall also remain in the special account until they are ready to submit for budget amendment. Any budget appropriations not expended by the end of fiscal year 2018 shall be carried over to fiscal year 2019. Section 9, Legislative Branch Authority. The legislative branch shall have control over spending of its own budget, including budget modifications, and making purchases pursuant to its annual budget submission of $2 million. The carryover amount of $403,202 from FY 2017 shall be added to the 2018 annual budget. Any budget appropriations not expended by the end of fiscal year 2018 shall be carried over to the FY 2019. Section 10, District Donations for fiscal year 2018. The Tribal Comptroller shall disperse a total of $150,000 for district donations, divided equally among the districts in the amount of $25,000 each. The total carryover from FY 2017 in the amount of $40,245 shall be carried over in addition to the annual amount for each district respectively. All FY 2018 budgeted district donations that are not fully expended in FY 2018 shall be carried over until fully expended. These funds shall be distributed to each district quarterly in their own separate accounts to be managed by the district representation. Section 11, Separation of Finances. The separation of finances for each branch and district donations shall be operated by the process as follows. Transfer requests will be sent from finance to cover legislative payroll with appropriate documentation attached. Legislature will then make transfer from legislative bank account to payroll bank account. Transfer requests will be sent from finance with attached legislature expenses bi-weekly, monthly to cover expense that legislature incurred. Legislative will then make the transfer from legislative bank to general fund bank account. The effective date was changed. That's now Section 12, and we added it shall be effective as of October 1st, 2017.
Thank you. We go down. We'll go ahead and at this time I would need a motion to adopt amendments. Motion by Senator House, second by Senator Melbear, question by Senator Sean Wilbur. All in favor, raise your right hand. 16 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Questions maybe. Go ahead, Senator Aldi.
Just a question of clarification here.
Go ahead.
On that, is this a substitute version or is this amendments?
Okay. So at this time, we're going into second reading. Senator Hill. Waive second reading, go into final roll call.
Move to final roll call vote. Motion
With amendment.
with amendments.
What's the amendments?
Second.
Second by Senator Pat Alden, question by Senator Hubbs. All in favor, raise your right hand. 16 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. You may proceed, Senator Trias. Roll call vote. Our final vote.
3 hands. 3 yes.
White Clay, yes.
Hill. Yes.
Should be what,
Yellowville, yes.
Groveon, yes.
Alderman Gregorian, yes.
Deputy Bighorn, yes.
Deep Green, yes.
Long, yes.
Zero Creek, yes.
Good luck. Eagles to God, Georgia, yes.
Melbourne.
Yes.
Burger Ground, Bagua Chabay, yes.
Wilbur, Mighty Few, yes.
16 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. This CLB has passed. So any comments? If not, at this time I would ask for a motion to recess. Motion by Senator House, second by Senator Tyson Groveon, question by Senator Melbear. All in favor, raise your right hand. The time is 3:15. Thank you. I hope.